Hi guys, my name's Thomas Edwards and I'm a professional dancer with Scottish Ballet. I've been asked to put together some ballet conditioning exercises for you guys to do at home during this lockdown. I've created a bunch of exercises that shouldn't take longer than 5 to 10 minutes to complete, and they focus on turnout and fifth position. The first exercise we're going to do actually starts on the floor, and it's from a floor bar tendu sequence. The reason why we sit on the floor is so that our upper body alignment stays in perfect alignment with our legs. So shoulders over hips, and feet in the middle of the pelvis. The floor prevents us from twisting and getting out of alignment, which means we're working correctly, working the correct muscles all together. So, we're going to start on the floor. What you want is a plain wall where you can tendu up and down the wall, hopefully without something like the big trim that I have, because it just gets in the way. But if you do have the trim, it's fine. You just need something where you can constantly keep contact with the wall. What you're going to do is put your feet in parallel, and then turn them out to your natural turnout. Don't force your little toes to touch the floor, because that's working incorrectly and you're putting too much pressure on your ankles and your knees. You really want to be turning out from the tops of the legs all the way down the leg, but starting from up here. So this is where my natural first starts, and that's where I'm going to work from today. You're going to lie back down, making sure shoulders are over hips, and feet are in the middle of your pelvis running straight up your body. While I'm lying on the floor, I'm making sure my back has contact with the floor, and so does my pelvis. I'm not tucking under my pelvis or arching my lower back so my ribs flare. The best way to prevent this is to squeeze your ribs in and try and create a flat line. Don't force your lower back into the floor if it doesn't naturally hit the floor. You can have your arms down or your arms up. So starting, we're going to just do a tendu up the wall, making sure our metatarsal touches the wall the whole time as we go up and touches the wall the whole time as we go down. We also call this going through demi. So, we go tendu, this is demi, to the point, through the demi and close. And we repeat, demi and point, demi and down. While we were only working the legs, we always have to make sure that our ribs aren't flaring and our posture is correct. We'll repeat to the left. Demi and point, demi and down, demi and point, demi and down. Continuously growing this long line on the floor. Now we're going to close into fifth. So the start of the exercise stays the same. Demi and point. Now what I've done is slightly adjusted this leg to come slightly underneath me a bit more. So when I close into fifth, my legs are directly in between my pelvis. So as I lower, I create a fifth. Now as you see, when I lower, I don't bend either knee. This is so important. To make space for your legs to come in straight, keep growing and lengthening to allow this leg to have the space it needs to come into fifth. And I make the fifth. And I just go tendu up, tendu down. And I go back to the first. And we just repeat. Demi and point, demi and fifth, demi and point, demi and first. And we do exactly the same to the left. So demi up the wall, demi down the wall to fifth, demi up the wall, demi down the wall to first, demi and point, demi and fifth, demi and point, demi and fifth. Now that is one whole complete set to the front, and I would advise repeating that 4 times, always concentrating on your posture, your leg alignment, and your turnout. Don't force it, but allow the muscles to bring the legs in. Now what we're going to do is flip on our front and do exactly the same. So you make the first at the back with your feet touching the wall, and your head will be on your hands. But I'm going to leave mine up so you can hear me. So we just repeat, demi and up, demi and down, demi and up, demi and down to the left. And point, continuously thinking of this turnout wrapping from the back of the legs. Now we just go to the fifth. And point, demi and fifth, demi and point, demi and fifth, demi and point, demi and fifth, demi and point, demi and fifth. So each set, you'll do 2 tendus, 1 leg into the first, 2 tendus with the other leg into the first. Then 2 tendus go closing to fifth, into first, up to the fifth, and first. So it's 2, 2, 2, 2. And again, I would repeat the ones on the back 4 times. The back feels easier to close into fifth because you can work against the floor. But again, don't overly force your turnout because this could cause some problems to your knees or your ankles. So that's the first exercise. So the next exercise I'm going to teach you is just a series of tendus. We're going to start in first. We're going to introduce fifth on a plie and then fifth on straight leg. The reason why we introduce fifth on a plie is because it takes the pressure off your knees and ankles when introducing the position to the body. We're going to need a bar. So I'm using my fireplace. You can use a kitchen counter, a table, anywhere that you can just hold on to for a little bit. During this exercise, we're mainly focusing on the legs. The reason being is because we're focusing on fifth positions. But that doesn't mean we have to forget about our upper body. So during this exercise, like I mentioned on the floor, we're going to close our ribs and make sure there's a long line from the top of our chest down. And the same goes in the back. You don't want to be tucking the pelvis under, which would create a curve in the back and a shortening in the front. And you don't want to be arching the pelvis backwards, which would create an overarch in the back. You want to have your natural curve in the back, and your pelvis should be in line with your shoulders. So making sure it's in the middle of our body. So we're going to start with the left hand on the bar, and we're going to start in first. Your natural first, don't overturn out the feet. Just do whatever's comfortable for you, and it will build up the more you do it. You can have the arm in bras or in second. For the video, I'll have it down. So we're going to start and just going. Tendu in the first, close, side, close, back, close, side, and we'll repeat. Front, side, back, side. We're now going to introduce the fifth on a plie. So starting in first again, we go. Front, fifth on plie, front, close. Side, closing in the front in fifth, side, close. Back, fifth on plie, back, close. Side, fifth behind, side, close. And then we just repeat the exercise. Front, fifth, front, close. Side, fifth, side, close. Back, fifth, back, close. Side, fifth, back, fifth, close. We're now going to introduce the fifth on straight legs. Like we did on the floor, you want to make sure both legs remain straight when closing into the fifth. If you're finding it difficult to keep both legs straight, you probably have a shortening in the legs and the body. The best way to fix this is to really lengthen up the front of the legs, lift out of the hips, and lift your body. When you do this, don't lift the rib cage and your shoulders. You've just got to think of this lengthening, shoulders pushing down, ribs are in, legs are pushing up. So everything's working kind of against each other. Legs and body are going up, shoulders are pushing down though, and ribs are coming in. This will create space in your hip, so when you bring your leg in, you won't need to sacrifice the bend of the knee. So we finished in first, so we start in first. So we go front, closing fifth in front, side, closing fifth behind, back, closing fifth behind, side, closing fifth in front. Repeat, front, fifth, side, fifth, back, back, fifth, side, fifth, front. And at the end of the exercise, we're just going to rise up. You can have your arms in first or in fifth. The main thing with your rise and your balance, ribs are closed, body is pulling up, your posture is correct. Your derriere is in, you're not tucking, and you're not arching back. Your derriere is in line with your feet, and your feet are in the middle of your pelvis. So you're balancing or balancing. I would then repeat this to the left, and I would just do this exercise once each time. If you fancy repeating it, do so. You'll build up your inside thighs, your turnout, and the body getting used to the fifth position. If you wanted to make it harder, just increase the speed of the exercise. When increasing the speed of the exercise, don't sacrifice all the things we're talking about. Your posture, your pelvis, your turnout, your fifths. If you find you're sacrificing all that technique for the speed, reduce the speed and then build the speed back up. So we'll do it once all together, remembering each level repeats twice. So we start in first. And we go. Front, close, side, close, back, close, side, repeat. Front, close, back, close, lengthening the body and the fifth on plie. Side on plie, back on plie, side on plie, repeat. Lengthening the body, keeping the posture correct. Back plie, side back plie. On the straight leg we go front, close, side, close, back, close, side, close, front, close, back, close, side, close, back, close. Into your balance, keeping your body correct, ribs in, derriere in the right place, legs in between the pelvis, shoulders pushing down, legs pushing up, and then finish. Repeat to the left. So the next exercise, super short. Again, just working those fifth positions. This time we're going to do it in coup de pied. The reason why we do it in coup de pied is because we can really cross the fifths over because we're coming in from a bent leg. So again, everything we've said about posture, ribs in, shoulders pushing down, legs and body pushing up, derriere not tucking under, not arching, in the right position. Okay? So left hand on the bar again. We're going to start with the right foot in front, in fifth. Keep your arm down. You can keep your arm in first, or you keep your arm in second. I'm just going to keep it down for now. Coup de pied position is just this pointed foot around the ankle. Your heel is pushing to that wall. Your toes are going backwards, so you're not sickling, but your foot's in the right alignment. So you're pushing it down, and it's on a bent leg. We go up and over, and we just close it in the back. And the whole point of this exercise is so when you come in from coup de pied, because you're bending it, you can really cross the leg over to make the fifth. Same to the back. Really cross it over. So if you think these are your legs, you want to send your heel to the other side's toe. So you're pushing it over. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 coup de pied. So we go 1, 2, pushing the heel across. Left leg is staying straight the whole time, it doesn't bend. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can take another rise and balance. If you're finding it that your leg is bending, like we said before, again, really lengthen the front of the hips down the legs. Lengthen the body, and you will be able to get your coup de pieds and your tendus to the side in on 2 straight legs. So, we'll do it once all together. I'd recommend doing it once to the right, once to the left, that's all you need. You can't really develop this by going quicker because I think you just lose the technique generally. So, we go again. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Repeat 1, 2, ribs are in. 6, 7, 8. Last time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Balance. And balance. Postures in. Shoulders pushing down. Ribs in. And that's that exercise. So the last exercise I'm going to teach you is a rond de jambe exercise. But instead of doing a full rond de jambe, we're just going to focus on the quarter. So front, side, and then back, side, back, side. The reason why we're focusing on the quarter is just to emphasize the fifth position. This is a really good one to focus on the top of the legs, the turnout from the top of the legs. And this one is probably the most important to keep your posture in the correct place, because you basically want to be as solid as a rock, but allowing the leg to move, but obviously not being super stiff because we're trying to dance. So, left hand on the bar, and we're going to start in first again. And this time your arm is in second. So what we're going to do is we're going to go front, side, and then you go front, side, front, side, and we do this 4 times. Front, side. And then you just reverse it by going back, side, back, side, back, side, back, side. Then 2 to the front. 1 and 2. 2 to the side, to the back, sorry. Back. And then 1. And 1. Repeat 1 and 1. So, what you want to do is make sure you get the cross of the fifth before you open it to the front or the back. but you also want to keep it a continuous movement to allow the thighs to get the strength. I'd encourage doing this once to the right, once to the left. And the way you level this up, you can do it quicker, or you increase the number of rond de jambe. So you can start 8 front, 8 back, 4 front, 4 back, 2 front, 2 back, and then 1, 1, 1, 1. And obviously you can increase the speed as well. So we'll just do it once all together, and then you can do it to the left. So, starting in first, and you go 1, and 2, and 3, crossing that foot. To the back we go, back, and back, and back, and back. To the front we do 2, and 2, to the back is 2, and then singles for 4, and a front, and a back. So, one last thing as well, just when you go to the back, it's the biggest place your posture can get out of alignment by tilting forward or sending the derriere out. So when you're sending your foot to the back, lengthen the left leg, lengthen up through the left side of the body, push along the floor with the right, and keep everything long. Your ribs are in, your leg is turning out, and your pelvis is in as well. So that's the last one. Thank you guys for coming along and doing my few exercises.